Yo, today's been a good day, relatively. Uh, I would like to start off with turning off my lights. Would be the first thing. The second thing that I would, well, the first thing I want to talk about is, well, life. Life. I didn't make a video yesterday. Yesterday was Friday. Yeah, yesterday was Friday. Uh, Yesterday was a pretty big day. I woke up late again. I missed morning mass. I missed breakfast club. I just I woke up late. I woke up early originally. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. And the funny thing about it was the day before I woke up, the day before on Thursday, I actually completed modern history homework, and as a result, I set my alarm instead of being 6 to 6:30 so that I would get extra sleep. But I guess I didn't really sleep that well, as when I woke up, I got up, but then I looked back, and the temptation to go back to bed, to sleep for just a little bit longer, it was so strong. But it wasn't strong, it was habitual. It was tempting. It was the cycle, the comfort of the cycle, I like to think. And because of that, I fell very quickly and very easily, fell back into sleep. And I woke up at 6:50, was disappointed in myself for not getting out of bed, and that made me even more unhappy, and as a result I slept in even longer. So I woke up at 7, then 7:40, I looked at my device, I saw the bus, like the nearest bus that would be coming, and that bus would be taking me to school probably 8:20, I believe. And that meant I missed mass and missed breakfast club. So it was very sad because I wanted to attend, because I thought that I had changed. I thought that I have been able to prove to myself that I have what it takes to be better. But that particular morning was a very big step back from the progress that I've been making these past couple days. So I ended up actually missing the 8:20 bus because I was in bed when I saw the app, and I saw that it was coming in roughly 7 minutes. And well, 7 to or maybe 13 minutes. And I knew that if I wanted to catch that bus, I would have had to have immediately gotten out of bed. I would have had to have immediately gotten dressed. I would have had to have missed my breakfast. I would have had to have not brushed my teeth. I would have had to have rushed everything and run to the bus. And I didn't want to do that, and I was very sleepy. So I ended up taking a later bus, the 8:55 bus, which would mean I would be late to school. But I've taken that bus every day, mostly, throughout the whole week. So at this point, I don't care. And funnily enough, when I chose to take that bus, I went back to bed. I laid down. I felt sad. I felt comfortable, but I felt sad. And when I got up eventually, because I was struggling really hard to get out of bed. I was looking at the app, and as the minutes went down, it went from 30 minutes to 29 minutes to 27 to 25 to 22 and then to 20. And then when it was taking like the 17 minutes to 15 minutes, I couldn't get out of the bed. Even after like I got my back up, I just fall back in the bed. And I'm not saying this to complain. It's just it's it's not is what it is. It's just sometimes you just feel that way. And it's our jobs to be better. Because this isn't an excuse, it's how I felt. I can't control how I feel in circumstances like that. Or maybe I can. I'm not too sure. But when I eventually got out of bed, I poured myself a small bowl of cereal, I brushed my teeth quickly, and I ran for the bus. And funnily enough, I ended up missing it. So, the consequence of that was I ended up actually walking to school, which took me 30 minutes. But that was the second time I did that week. So I missed the late bus twice, and ended up getting to school at around 9:17. I don't mind walking to school. It's therapeutic to walk, but it was just so annoying because I just thought I was over it. I thought I had accomplished it. I thought I had overcome it. But clearly it's still very, very in me, if that makes sense. And I remember walking to school, feeling this way, feeling confused, but I began reflecting why I slept in, reflecting on particularly on how to be better. And I came to two pretty basic conclusions. Change your mentality, change the channel, as my mum says it. By changing the channel, you change how you look at the situation. So initially I saw this as a failure, that moment. That me waking up late, missing school, that this habit, it was a failure, but I changed my mindset to think of it as an opportunity to show that my worst is my best, and that through my worst being my best will be even better. So I established that I've been strong even at my lowest point. And because I saw it as an opportunity to show that I am better, to show that I love myself, to show that I am more meaningful, that helped me overcome my day. Now, although I did think at the time that it's gonna suck because I have homework that I intended to complete in the morning that was due on that day, and I knew that I had a subject particularly that I wanted to do homework for, and I didn't. And I knew that when I went to that class, that we would be tested on our knowledge on that subject. And it happened the day before, and I felt really dumb. I felt really stupid because I didn't really understand the content. And it really made me angry because I felt this way before. And I felt stupid before. And I didn't want to live out that reality again because I'm growing up, because this is getting old. I'm becoming a man. And to become a man, we must shed our old skin to be new, to be better. And so this habit of believing I'm stupid, and as a result not doing anything about it, and then when the deadline for something occurs, I realize that it was easy, that the action that I was avoiding was actually interesting, or it was actually, it was very of my capacity. And then I realized that I could have done something about it but didn't. And I missed that opportunity again. That will make me feel more stupid. That did make me feel more stupid. And that made me omit for more activities and more opportunities and more. And it just sucked. And it still sucks. But oh well. At that moment, on Friday morning, I just said in my mind, I own it. I own that failure. I own that stupidity. I own the potential consequence of my neglect. And that's it. You sometimes when you have something that you made a mistake in or you regret, you have to own it sometimes so that you can confront it. You can't confront something that you're afraid of, that you're anxious about, that makes you scared. You have to confront it head on, and by doing that, you have to own it. You have to accept it. Not accept it as it's always going to happen, or as it's just a part of you and you're bad as a result. No, you accept the punishment of the outcome because you know that you will be better. You actually have trust in yourself. Because maybe a reason why you were scared is because you didn't really believe that when everything's said and done, that you would actually come back to it and actually improve. And so you just ran away from your problems instead of confronting them. That's not me anymore. It may be me sometimes, but it won't be me forever. I want to confront my problems head on. That requires courage, adversity, and I'd say patience. A lot of patience. But eventually, my day passed on. Period 1, period 2, English, hospo, SOR. What was the third one? SOR. Maybe investigative science? Maybe. And then finally, modern history. I believe. All those good subjects. To conclude my Friday, immediately when I came home from Friday, I cleaned a bit, cleaned my room, cleaned the counter, cleaned the dishes, vacuumed the floor actually. Then I actually started working. I started working pretty well, but then my dad needed me to go to the shops, so I went to the shops, and then after coming to the shops, I had to go out to this event that I go to every fortnight, and I came home at probably 9 p.m. And following those events, following that evening, I just felt, well, yeah, I remember it. I took my dad to bed. I said goodnight to him. I said goodnight to my sister. And the TV was on. And I saw that the TV was on. I went to turn it off. But instead of turning it off, I ended up putting on a streaming service. Because my dad just got a new streaming service. Now, I just browsed. I looked. But I guess, yeah, I browsed, and I felt weak. I felt weak because I didn't want to browse. I know I have work to do. I know that I am in year 11, that I have my HSC next year, that I have stuff that are important. And also, I don't really want to watch some random thing Friday evening. I don't want to. I would rather sleep. But I felt weak. I didn't just feel weak, I felt scared. Maybe anxious too. I don't know how to describe the fear, but it's like I think everyone knows what it's like to have a deadline, a looming deadline, and how that anxiety can kind of lead you to just procrastinate. That kind of feeling. And I just gave into that feeling. I knew in my head that it was bad. And I kind of justified it by thinking that maybe I would deny it. Maybe that if I just watch a little bit of this, then I would deny it. Or I kind of played it off by thinking, it's alright. It's Friday. I have time. Or I'll do this and then I'll study. Well, that's an illusion, obviously. It's a lie. I know that clearly. I knew that when I was thinking it, but I still believed in it. I didn't believe in it, I gave into it. That's the word. But eventually I stopped watching. I was like, this is bullcrap. And I wanted to just sit down, turn on my light, and just study for just a little bit, but I didn't do that. Instead, I got on my phone and just like as if it's muscle memory, I just started watching YouTube Shorts particularly. I just wanted to forget responsibility. I knew that I didn't have any reason to really work because I knew that, well, Monday's coming up. Right now's Friday. I won't have to care about the consequences until Monday. That type of mentality. That because my recent future isn't very difficult, I just slacked. Because I knew that I wouldn't receive the consequences immediately. That I could just feel comfortable and just really, really hone in on that blissful comfort. Then I would be able to escape the pain. At least for a moment. Until it comes back. But I don't have to think about that. But I do. Eventually. And so I actually ended up going to bed at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Actually, I don't know if it was 4 a.m. Maybe it was. Is it 4 a.m.? Or 1 a.m. I think it was actually 1 a.m. I don't know where I get the idea it was 4. But regardless, I went to bed late. I woke up in the morning at 8 a.m. because I had to go to the mechanics with my dad. It's crazy how quick a day can go by because I woke up at 7 and we went to the mechanics, we came back, and it was probably 11 when we came back, which is crazy. And well, I did the same thing I did the night previously. I got my phone, I thought it's just 11, I have time, and I just put on YouTube. Started watching because I felt weak. Because I felt like, oh, I deserve this. Oh, it's pointless to change. Oh, it's pointless. Blah, 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 blah. And, well, I gave into that belief. I did give into it. I did give into the idea that it's actually easier. It's always easier to give up than it is to work hard. That I might as well just give up because I always give up, or it's just something that caused me to give up because maybe the fear of getting my book out and working for long periods of time or whatnot. Not the fear, but the displeasurement and the idea that I will do it later. It's not just one thing; it's a multitude of reasons. So the fear is along with the idea that I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it at 1. Or I'll do it at 2 p.m. Or I'll do it at 3 p.m. And I'll just cram everything all at midnight. And then I hate myself because I want to sleep, but I can't sleep because I have work to do. And then I just stress myself out because I need to sleep because I love sleeping, but I can't sleep because I have to work. So either I have to sleep, work, or in between. Not really in between, it's more just avoid, escape. So sleep, work, escape. And most times I choose to escape. And well, that's what happened on Friday. Thursday evening, I wanted to get work done. Couldn't get work done because I was just scared, anxious. I couldn't see myself cramming all that work in at one moment. And it's just it's a childish feeling. I know. There are far more people who go through far worse for far less. And it hurts to think that and still be scared. And still be scared to live meaningfully in general. To deny temptation. To go out. To be social. To live in a manner that is actually meaningful. Actually relevant to how I want to live. To be scared of that level of change. To be scared of leaving the cycle. Even though all that the cycle has done for me is delay pain, but with interest. Like using a credit card. It's helpful, but then you use it too much, and then you're unable to pay debt, and then it just increases and increases and increases and increases, and then by the end of it, it's your worst enemy, and you can't escape it. All you can do is avoid it. It's not all you can do, but it's all you believe you can do. I guess. But yeah. Life is beautiful though. Don't get me wrong. Life is a gift, and it will always be a gift. I just want to live it meaningfully, but I don't want that to be. I don't want. Because, like, this isn't an excuse. That's the one thing. What I'm complaining about, it is complaining. It absolutely is complaining. But it's constructive in that it keeps me focused. Like the key word, focus. Because when I make these reflections, I remember them the day before and the day after, and it actually helps me remember time. Because I always lived with the idea, or like, I always lived day by day. Like, I wouldn't remember Monday. I wouldn't remember the week before. But now I am. It's actually increasing my perspective of time. The fact that I've been spending so much of my time on this issue for so long, that I've been complaining about it for this long. This is absolute deja vu because I say this every single video, every single time. And I say this. This is not new information. This is absolutely covered. This has been covered 1,000 times. And the fact that I say that has been covered 1,000 times. But I guess that's just the process. That's just the process. But anyways. One thing I would like to note is the way I'm speaking. It's much better than yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday. I'm quite proud of that, actually. But anyways, the key word for today is patience. Patience is a beautiful word because you can live your whole life without it, but you can't be really happy if you don't have it. Yeah, you can call yourself patient, but patience is so multifaceted. Like, I pray the rosary quite a bit. I'm not crazy at it, but like when I'm at like during weekdays, on average, I pray the rosary twice, maybe low chance, but usually 2 times, maybe one, maybe three, sometimes three. But I do usually manage to get a rosary each day, which I'm very proud of. And that takes patience to pray a rosary. Now, albeit I pray when I'm in class, I pray when I'm on a bus, I pray when I'm in the chapel, I pray throughout the day. But regardless, I pray when I get home, and that requires a level of patience. A level of patience I think I have. And I am patient to a good extent. I have the patience to talk in a camera, to reflect with myself. But that doesn't mean that I am a patient person per se, because even though I have a level of patience, it doesn't mean for example, you know, the something simple, exercise. Exercise is a thing you have to commit to consistently. And I haven't been able to express the level of patience to commit. When I think about, like when I'm told that I have to perform this type of movement multiple times a day for at least 2 months or so to see any real improvement, I think about that and I'm like, oh, 2 months, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I just don't do it because I think it's just impossible. Or I think it's just too hard or something like that. But then 2 months goes by, and then another 2 months, and then another 2 months, and then basically a year goes by, and I'm fat, and and I'm not fit. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't really that long. It was long, time goes, and time does last, but I definitely could have done it. Like last year, if I had been stretching more often, I would have been able to do the splits by now. Just something random like that. But I can't time travel, so I can't go back. But I do have the memories of the previous day, and therefore I can learn from that. That's the beauty of previous mistakes. But I need the patience to be able to take my own advice. And I don't know if I have that. I definitely have the capability to have it. But when I wake up tomorrow morning is Sunday, will I have the patience to get out of bed, to work, to work, and to work, and to work, and to work until I have to go to Mass, and then come back from Mass, and then work, and then work, and then work, and then maybe go to the shops, then come back, and then when I come back to more work, and then more work, and then have a break every once in a while, but then just always having to come back to work. And then I have to have the patience to believe that eventually I'll get better. Eventually, the way I tackle a question improves. Because right now, my handwriting is not very good. It takes me time to think about a question, longer than I think should be allowed for myself. Like for the HSC, it's expected that you're supposed to write an essay in 30 minutes. I can't write an essay in 30 minutes. No, I can't. I can't write a pure paragraph in 15 minutes. It takes me 40 minutes, sadly. But the interesting thing is, when I started running, I hated it. I hated it. I didn't like running. But I did it because I was sad. Because I always wanted to run. And I did feel on some occasions the beauty, the euphoria of having a good run. And I wanted to be able to run consistently. I wanted to have that discipline. So I ended up running. And I ended up pushing myself, and I ended up gassing out, and then I ended up not wanting to run. So then I ended up going within my limits, not pushing myself too hard. And I ended up actually committing to it. And then I actually started enjoying it. And then I started to improve. And then just maybe 30, 40, maybe an hour ago, I just went on a wonderful run. And I ran at a pace that I was comfortable with, that I actually feel is deserving of a person my age who should run. Because before, when I would run, I'd run like I don't know, I look like a fat man trying to get out of bed or trying to walk to the supermarket. Like I'd be huffing and puffing, disorientated. My legs would hurt, my arms would hurt. It was horrible. And I would come back and be like, oh, like this is horrible. But I came back. It wasn't long. Well, maybe it is. 2 kilometers. It's not that bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Especially for someone who doesn't run often. I think it's good. I ran 2 kilometers. I probably ran 1.5 kilometers and I walked the rest because I started feeling pain. But good pain. And regardless, I have ran 2 kilometers. But anyway, the point of the thing is, now I'm at a level where I enjoy running. I actually really enjoy running. Like, it's actually crazy. It's crazy how good running feels. Like the euphoria you feel even as you're running. Like when I was running, I just felt the natural urge to push myself. I felt the natural urge to accelerate. It was amazing. But it didn't start that way. It did not start that way. It started with huffing and puffing and pushing and pain and cramps and stitches and more perseverance. But eventually things got better, bit by bit. Don't get me wrong, I had to start slow, but I'm still slow. I'm not perfect. I still stop. I do usually walk most of the way home after a certain point. But I'm getting better and I'm enjoying it. And there are times where I actually do finish the run, where I feel really great and I feel really happy and I feel very improved. But it wouldn't have been the case if I didn't have patience, if I didn't have the compassion for myself to wait for the fruits of the outcome to be seen. And that is the case with life. One must be patient with themselves, especially me, especially when it comes to my work. Yeah, that's basically it. There's this word in Arabic, it's shway shway, and that word basically means slow down. Very relevant to the key theme, which is patience. That sometimes in order to go long distances, we sometimes have to pace ourselves. Because in a marathon, the winner isn't the guy who's fastest, it's the guy who can run the longest. It's the guy who can persevere the longest. Because the guy who's fastest can run like a beast, but if at the end of it or halfway through he gasses out, pointless. Because the guy who's able to run consistently is the one who wins, as he's able to outpace the fast guy. And as a result, patience is very important, basically. And yeah, key thing, be patient. Yes, be patient. Actually, be patient. It's really important to be patient with yourself. I need to take that advice. I'm very impatient with myself. Even though I like to pray, even though I like to talk, even though I like to spend time in meditation occasionally, very occasionally, I still need to be patient. You know, I'm humble. I like to. I'm always imperfect. And I am humble in the fact that I know that I am, despite being relatively patient, I am still quite impatient. So yeah, that's it. Pray for me and my soul that I may succeed. Not physically, but internally. Because there are so many people that are so disadvantaged. Like, actually, I can't even think. The amount of people that just, their lives suck right now. The amount of people that are physically disabled, the amount of people that are negatively impacted by war, by famine, by disease, all these words that we think about people who are disadvantaged, you know, we kind of think of them as if they're just concepts or statistics or not really, like, almost fictional. But then you see videos of people actually going through the pain, and you actually see and hear them talk, and you realize that they are actually real people like you. And it's like, what am I doing? Who am I? But it is what it is. It's life. In the sense that our problems are scaled to who we are and to how we choose to let them impact us in some sense. So my problems are significant to myself because my condition allows it to be. But it doesn't mean that my problems have to be insanely difficult for me, because there are people who have far worse problems and are able to persevere. And if they're able to persevere, then I am surely able to persevere. It's just a belief. It's just a belief. Yeah, belief is important. We must believe in ourselves to succeed. Absolutely. I'm not talking about wealth. Even though I would like to have physical wealth, you know, it is easier for a rich man, a camel to enter the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. So I'm a little skeptical about being rich, about pursuing wealth, because I don't want it to corrupt me, to break me. I don't want it to focus or center my whole life, but I also don't want to be poor. I want to make my dad proud. I want to make my family proud. I don't want to be a disappointment. I just don't know how to find the middle ground. Because what am I gonna be? A teacher? Serious? I might be. I mean, like, people telling me that I should. But no one gets rich on salaries. But then again, do I want to be rich? No, but I want to be able to buy a house. You need to be rich to buy a house these days. Want to be able to have a wife and kids, and I don't think you can have a wife and kids with a teacher's salary. That's even considering if I want to be a teacher. If I want to be something else, but then what would I be? An architect? I'm crap at maths. An artist? I can't draw. Music? Music's fine. I have no passion for it. Theology. I love theology. I love reading scripture. I love talking about it. I love not reading. I do love reading about it. I do like apologetics. Really, really, really interesting stuff. But that's even worse because people who do that are broke. And it's not the career path for people who want to be rich, but then it's like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, then, what God wants, ultimately, thy will be done. It's trust in His will. It's all I can do. It's all I can be. It's trust in God's will. But sometimes it's hard to do that. To trust in His will, to trust in who He is, to trust that He is real. I have reason to believe that He is real, absolutely. But sometimes it's like I want to go through and evaluate whether or not God exists, and either develop and improve my faith, or disprove my faith. But sometimes, these bad habits, it's stopping me from doing that because I'm always just afraid of change, afraid of taking a stand. I'm always sitting on the fence, and as a result, I go through life as if I haven't changed. I haven't been reading the Bible in ages. It's funny because after the Bible, I want to read the Quran, and after the Quran, I want to read the Book of Mormon, and then after that, I want to read something else. But I don't know if I'll get there. And I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to read the Book of Mormon at 25. I want to be able to read it now. But I need patience. That's the key word. We can't have everything now. It's not healthy. Sometimes we need to grow. We need to grow into the people that we need to be. But I just have this desire to just really find out, to really know. And if it is right, if Christianity is the truth, and I want to defend it, like really, like what else is there meaning? If everything dies, then wouldn't God be the only thing that has meaning? And since God is love, wouldn't the only meaning within life would be to love? But if He doesn't exist, then, it is what it is. But at the same time, I want to know. I want to find out. But I'm too hesitant. At least for now. At least for now. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Conclusion, I want to be a better man. And I want to be a better man through maintaining sleep. Kind of relevant, but yeah, I do want to maintain sleep. And not being scared to work, to change, to escape the cycle, to deny the cycle, to deny temptation, to deny bliss, the bliss of entertainment, the escape into a reality, into fantasy, into a world that isn't yours, into imagination, into the false imagine, like to escape into a world where you're always succeeding, you know, like I don't want to imagine myself as successful and to be a failure in reality. I hate that because I've experienced it and it's miserable. It's comfortable, yeah, but it's meaningless. And it highlights the fact that a man can be alive and dead at the same time. Because even though his body is sustained, his soul isn't. His soul is depraved of what it needs. And that source can be probably, like we would take a religious stance, Jesus Christ, or something else, like labor or strength, something that's meaningful, something that's worthwhile, something that's earned. So yeah, I want to earn my life. I want to do that by denying the fantasy, by stopping this habit of imagining myself as a better person and not actually being the better person, relying on the fantasy above reality, because it's a cheap knockoff that won't ever be able to replicate the real thing. And it sucks because it's like if you imagine like a hologram of like a cheeseburger and you're starving. Yeah, the hologram pleases the senses and it might produce an odor, like it's advanced technology, so it might produce an odor, but you can't eat it. You can't actually hold it and be able to consume it. And it's daunting you because you're starving and you're craving food, and all you have is this hologram that is only able to simulate a meal. It doesn't actually sustain you. And that's the key point. Escape replicates happiness, it doesn't sustain happiness. That's it. That's actually pretty good. It's a good quote. I should write that down actually. Temptation stimulates happiness. Yeah, but lastly, I want to know God. And I want to have a career path in which I will be able to have a family and I will be able to live comfortably. But that is such a big ask. I recognize that now because there are people who have loads of kids, who have had loads of kids, and have nothing to their name. And how can I ask and think it to be reasonable to have a house, to have kids, to have a wife, when most of the population doesn't? How can I say that is fair? How can I say to God, let that be my reality? It doesn't sound right. Who do I think I am? Well, then I guess that leads to the idea that you actually have to work for what you have. And God can give you the opportunities, but you have to take them. So the reason why people, on average, don't have what they have is because they were given the opportunities, but didn't take the opportunities. So it's not like God is just picking you up and placing you in a mansion. You have to work for it. You have to pay a cost. And it's like, oh no, if I am willing. It's weird that I say that because I just went out for a run, and I know I'm willing to pay the cost for happiness in that sense, to run at 11 p.m. in the morning. And I think I should be able to have the courage to pay the cost for my education, because I hate being stupid. I hate being stupid. It sucks. It sucks when you don't know a basic concept. You feel like a child. It's the worst. But yeah. And I don't want to be stupid. That's another thing. But ultimately, patience. We all need to be patient. Yeah, those of which who do not plan to fail. It doesn't mean that you always have to have a plan. Sometimes you can get caught up in perfecting the plan or wanting the plan that you actually end up procrastinating and never doing the thing that you want to do. So sometimes screw the plan. But in saying that, planning is also helpful. And it helps you achieve your goals objectively. So therefore, I must be patient, and I must know where I'm going, and I must plan my way through. But yeah, we pray that if there is a God, which I have reason to believe, through the testimonies of many people, of apostates, people who have come over from other religions to Christianity, for miraculous interventions, as I am Catholic, from the miracles of the Rosary, and so on. I have a really good reason to believe in Christianity, Catholicism particularly, and I pray that God, that you guide me and whoever's listening towards success, but not physical success, because that kills the soul, but a level of success that satiates the inner part, satiates us to the core. Because at the end of the day, when we're all wrinkly and old, it doesn't matter by how much money you have, or how much cars you have, or how cool you are, or how cool you were. What matters is who you are and who you were. That's what matters. And the only way we can rectify that is by changing who we are now, and by asking God if He is there, which I believe, to be there for us, in our hearts and in our minds, in our souls. The Holy Spirit may work within our soul to make us better, if there is such a thing. I'm very skeptical because I haven't gone through the mental evaluation. I've heard evidence, and I have, very great confidence in it, but I can't say for certain unless I have genuinely made an effort to see for myself, which I haven't. So pardon me if I still say if. But nevertheless, we need to be patient. It's the only way we can succeed. At least for me. That's it. Good night. Or good day.